With the Ontario election coming up, there are a multitude of different issues to focus on. Understandably overwhelming to a lot of people, they're deciding the issues they should allow to influence their voting decision. It's tough. From a strategy perspective, what do you think politicians think voters care about? I want to start there.
Look, obviously the premier and this government, they understand it's the little issues like hence giving out the rebate checks that are going to be in your mail that you will be receiving during the election campaign, which is just honestly, it's a good.
I do feel like that backfired a little bit though. Like I think most people at this point know any government stimulus is just like making the problem worse.
Look, it's one thing for us to like sit from 10,000 feet away and say what's happening and be on social media and stuff. But it's another thing for that family that actually needs $200 to pay
That's
for
fair.
a bill.
Yeah.
And I think we have to really take that into consideration. Sometimes we don't think about those things, and it's an important thing. I think the other point is they want to fight the election on the terms that they want to set. And right now they've set the terms of I'm the best person to fight Trump. And if that's the narrative, then he will win that narrative. But the opposition leader's job is to change the narrative, to talk about the issues that we all, like Wyatt brought up and Anthony brought up about housing and healthcare. If you can bring those issues up, people are very dissatisfied with the government about those things.
Wyatt, from a young person's perspective, at least for both of us, what do you see as being a main issue or a few main issues that young voters will care about? Will it be the Trump tariffs that they're seeing on social media blowing up and they're saying, oh, we got to figure this out, oh, it's bad? Or will it be the classic cold healthcare, housing, labor, energy? Like what is it going to be for young people?
Yeah, the most important one is education, hands down, especially because a lot of people right now, even at a high school level, when they're first kind of getting their introduction to politics, the public education system in Ontario right now is a disaster. It has been a disaster. It's not just a Ford government thing. It was also a Kathleen Wynne government thing. I myself went to a public school that was an elementary school that shut down over the course of the Kathleen Wynne government. And then over the course of the Ford government, that same school got merged with another school. And so there's this whole kind of big show going on right now relating to education. I think over the course of the pandemic as well, the learning of students was staggered and ended up kind of getting disrupted in a lot of regards. And people are just further and further behind. There's been a number of kind of standardized tests, the literacy tests for grade 10 that students are mandated to take in order to get their diploma, the EQAO testing that happens every year that are seeing some of the worst results in a number of years. And all of this is kind of laid at the feet of COVID. And so young people are looking at what party has the best platform for education, but then also for the economy so that they can afford to actually pay for their education, as again, both the provincial and federal government don't really seem to be doing a whole lot to try and bring the cost down, or at least not doing a lot to go beyond the talking points and actually get into some substance-based policy discussion.
Yeah, so I think Wyatt makes really good points. And I think education is important and is key. But the thing is, I don't think youth are voting on education. Like, I think they should be. I think if you guys knew sort of how your future was going to be handled and what was happening to it, you probably want to take part in that. But I think there's other things that are in your front view. Like, people right now are looking at the gas price. They go to a grocery store, meat is double the price. Like, honestly, this stuff, as a parent, I have 2 kids, it just blows my mind. Like, sometimes I'm like, how do you afford this stuff?
I will say, and that was one of the points that I wanted to make is, everybody, okay, so 60% of voters are saying cost of living is the main thing that they're going to look at, okay? So what is cost of living? Well, that's kind of everything, right? I mean, that's groceries, that's gas prices, that's cost of services, that's cost of everything. Will the Trump tariff, though, because I'm curious, this is really getting a lot of attention in the time period, and of course, Doug Ford is using this as his main campaigning for the next 27 days. Will this just be like the main focus for even young people, regular people, older people to decide on, hey, I care about the Trump tariff more than anything else in their reaction?
I think it'll be both. I think it'll be 2 things. One, it'll be a serious answer to the question, and the other will be just like a scapegoat question. Well, he's the best to deal with Trump, and that's what I'm going to vote on. Or people who work in
I think a lot of people are thinking that.
Well, but here's people, like he mentioned, he's a parent, he's got to buy groceries. So there's cost of living issues. But how about this in manufacturing? The number of people that work in manufacturing in Ontario, they're legitimately concerned about what these tariffs are going to do to that industry. Who has the best position to do it? We're not going to know. Like I said, we haven't heard them debate. We don't really know what's going on, and this just happened like basically today. So I don't know if that's going to be the whole reason. I usually vote in every election. I'll tell the public on television. I usually vote based on what people are doing for healthcare and social programs for people. People in this country.
Okay, so I did hear on CTV, Vashi interviewed Bonnie Crombie, and she had said basically when questioned on the Trump tariffs, I don't want, that shouldn't be the main primary focus, that we need to go back to healthcare, education, cost of living. So do you feel like they're going to be able to switch that narrative literally in 27 days?
So look, the Premier of Ontario is not necessarily responsible for the entire negotiation of the tariff. That is the federal government's responsibility. But I understand why they're raising the issue. And it's the opposition leader's job, and the Bonnie Crombie and Mayor Stiles are going to continue to bring up healthcare, housing, education. And if they can make those issues stick in the next 27 days,
Then
that's where we're going to have a fighting chance. Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. What does this mean going forward?